Many of you have been asking which Jisulife fan is able to produce the stronger winds, but I couldn't really quantify exactly how much stronger one fan is over the other. So I bought wind speed sensors over here to test all of these fans once and for all and give you guys a much better idea how these fans compare to each other. We will first test the maximum wind speed of these fans to check whether Jisulife's claims on their maximum wind speed is accurate or not. Because the Ultra 1 and Life9 fans have a smaller fan head, so I use the smaller wind sensor to measure those two fans. For all the other fans, I use the larger sensor so I can cover their fan heads more effectively. Here are the tests for each of the fans. As you can see, the Pro 1S underperformed by quite a bit. This might be because I couldn't get a good fit between the Pro 1S fan head and the head of the sensor, and this may have caused some wind to leak out. The Life5 Plus also underperformed slightly, although not as much as the Pro 1S. The rest of the fans met expectations, with the Ultra 1, the Life8 Plus and the Life4 overperforming by more than 1 meters per second. Now let's move on to the second part of this test, where I measured the wind speeds at 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters and 30 centimeters away. I think this test is actually more relevant for real world use, because rarely would we stick the fan right up against our skin when using it. We would typically hold it at a slight distance away, so we should definitely test the fans at a distance as well. Again, I use the smaller sensor for the Ultra 1 and Life9 fans because the wind from those fans are quite concentrated in a small area. Using the larger sensor will cause under-reading because the wind will be hitting the center and not actually pushing the fan blades. So without further ado, let's move on to the tests. I've also included another table with percentage change in pink to show how much the wind speed decreases from the maximum wind speed as the distance increases. Now let me just show you how to read the table. For example, for the Ultra 1 fan, the wind speed dropped by 17.1% when the sensor is pulled back by 10 centimeters. When I pulled it back to 20 centimeters, the wind speed dropped by another 19.6%, ending up at 36.7% lower compared to the maximum fan speed. When I pulled it back to 30 centimeters away, the wind speed dropped by another 16.2% again, ending up at 52.9% lower wind speed compared to the maximum wind speed. If the second table is too cluttered and confusing, feel free to refer back to the first table where there are no percentage values. Overall, I think the Ultra 1, Life9 and Life8 Plus fans had difficulty maintaining their wind speed as the distance increases because they show pretty significant drops after each 10cm interval, and at 30 centimeters away, they had more than 40 to 50% decrease from their maximum wind speed. The Life7 and Life4 fans performed pretty well as they only had single-digit drops after every 10cm intervals. And at 30 centimeters away, they had less than 30% of decrease from their maximum wind speed. It's not surprising that their performance is so similar since the design of their fan heads look almost identical. Their fan speeds at all distances are also pretty close to the Pro 1S, even though they cost less than half the price. The Pro 1S and Life5 Plus fans were also not too bad because they did not suffer too big of a drop in wind speed after each 10cm interval, and they only decreased slightly more than 30% of their maximum wind speed at 30 centimeters away. Now, you finally have some wind speed data to compare so you can make a better purchase decision. I wanted to just call it a day here, but I think it is my duty as a reviewer to inform you that wind speed doesn't give you the full picture of how good a fan is at cooling you down. Because even if a fan has crazy fast wind speeds, if it is only able to cool a very small surface area like maybe the surface area of your nail, it will be very slow at cooling you down. A better metric to look at is actually airflow volume, and that is represented by CFM, which is a measure of the volume of air that a fan can push in a given amount of time. Fans that can direct a large volume of air over your body can cool you down a lot faster. However, it is harder to measure than wind speed as it takes into account cross-sectional area as well, and that is a topic for another video. In the grand scheme of things, wind speed and CFM are just two factors out of many other factors that makes a good handheld fan. Things like battery life, portability, and charging speeds are also really important considerations that you should not overlook. So if you still can't decide which fan to get, check out all my Jisulife content because I have a review video for every one of the fans that you see right over here, and they are all based on real-world testing. I'll be waiting for you in the next video. See you there.